It's great to have you here on the Clark Howard Show. You know, our mission is to serve you with advice and information that empowers you so you make better financial decisions in your life. And we're starting out this holiday week talking about one of my great loves in my life, warehouse clubs. How the big three are dominating retail sales in the United States. And later, I got a step you should consider. I read this twice recently. I thought, and the first time I was like, I should talk about that. And then I forgot. And the second time I was like, well, second time's a charm. I'm going to talk about what you should be doing to help each other and your family avoid scams, which are booming right now, where people impersonate you, a family member, whatever. Simple step for you to follow. All right. Warehouse clubs. Yeah, I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed since the 1970s when the first warehouse club opened in San Diego on Marina Boulevard called Price Club. And through the period of the 80s when people copied the format all over the place, I was a member of so many warehouse clubs, it was just not logical. But now, it's something that is just so much a part of culture. And so you have, with Costco, Sam's, and BJ's Wholesale, over the last 5 years, by Barron's estimate, their sales are up roughly 50% over that time period. Part of that's inflation, but most of it is pulling market share from others because people are getting a better deal. Costco soon will be the second largest seller of groceries in the United States. Right now, they're in third place behind Walmart and the many, many brands that are owned by Kroger. But they're going to pass Kroger soon and be the second largest seller of groceries in the U.S. Already the largest seller of wine in the world. A lot of categories in the store. They're the biggest seller. Hearing aids, largest seller. And what it's all about is the structure that of the original Price Club forward of lowering every bit of overhead cost they could except labor, selling huge volume per building, means the formula works for you. And I know there are people who say, well, I went to your beloved Costco or Sam's Club or whatever, and I didn't see where I was saving any money. Let me tell you, day after day you are. And Costco's the only one that'll tell publicly what their markup is. The maximum markup is 14%, except on Kirkland Signature, 15%. That is not how retail normally works. That's why, if you're not aware about this, Costco has been eating up market share in furniture because Costco's selling huge amounts of furniture now at a markup of 14% in an industry that normally marks up 100%. So, I mean, there's a huge amount of business that Sam's and Costco and BJ's Wholesale can grab because structurally, the way they're designed gives you an overall lower price day after day, week after week. And the number of Americans that now shop this way, larger and larger. And so there's a reason why I've named one dog Costco Wholesale and another dog Kirkland Signature, because I believe in this as such a great business model where Costco in particular pays its employees extremely well, gives them great benefits, so nobody's being exploited working there for you and me to save money. And I think that's absolutely great. as to which is best of the three. They're completely different one from another. They each have their own things that they're better at than the other two. If you're not familiar with BJ's Wholesale, that's steadily been moving from their East Coast stronghold steadily westward, BJ's Wholesale is very different than the other two, with far more items available in a category, where Sam's and Costco both stick to having a very small selection in each category. BJ's Wholesale, not as cheap to shop at, but they have a lot more variety. So BJ's Wholesale can replace a lot of fill-in shopping that Costco and Sam's members have to do at other stores. Is the membership fee worth it? Well, I sure think so.
All right.
What's my next dog's name going to be?
Oh, I know what Lane wants it to be. What do you want it to be?
What does she... Oh, she said what?
Dyson.
Oh, that's right. She's obsessed with Dyson products. Absolutely obsessed with the Dyson vacuum cleaner that shows you the dust with like these little green sparkles.
Love it. Yeah, I don't have that one. I have a much older model I got at Costco on a deal, and it is awesome.
I mean, it hurts me to spend that money. And then she's got this hair thing.
The Air Wrap.
Yeah. That fortunately is on sale right now, but the sale price is still like a fortune. Buy a used car or buy a Dyson Air Wrap. Man.
All right, we'll go to questions about warehouse clubs for you. First one's kind of a complaint from Wanda in Florida. What does Clark think about the Sam's Club renewal scam? My membership expired on September 1st. I went in to renew on November 1st. I paid for a full year, and they insisted my membership would expire on September 1st of next year. I asked if they would change the expiration to November 1st next year so I would get a full 12 months, and they said they couldn't do that. Then I asked for a prorated amount to be charged instead of the full year fee, since I would only have 10 months to use my membership. They couldn't do that either. I asked for a refund and left a full cart of merchandise.
So, Wanda, this is something that has frustrated me for a long, long time with how the membership renewals work. So people's membership will expire, and they'll be at the register, and they'll say, your membership card's expired. Would you like to renew it now? And you got that shopping cart full of stuff, because the warehouse club shopping carts are like the size of, speaking of a car, like the size of a car. Anyway, they retroactively renew you back to the expiration date. So you did, if that infuriates you, as it obviously did, you abandon your cart, right thing to do. You can then start over as a member over again and get the full year's benefit, since you didn't use it the last 2 months and they're going to charge you for it. I understand that that's kind of cuckoo, that when you do renew, that they shortchange the membership cycle. And that, to my knowledge, is a common practice in the warehouse club business, not just at Sam's.
Another Sam's question from Steve in Michigan. You said you can shop at Sam's Club without the app. I understood that Sam's Club now requires you to use Scan and Go at many of their locations. Can you still shop there without the app? Thanks for all your helpful advice.
So, Steve, the story is that Sam's Club opened a Sam's of the Future in, I think it was a suburb of Dallas, where you could only shop with the app. No checkouts at all.
Kind of like that Amazon stores where you go in
just walk out. Yeah. And it worked so well for them at that store. They've now done it at a store in Arizona. They've done it at a store, I forget what other state they've done it at another store. And their intention is to make it the only way you can shop at any Sam's Club in America eventually is with the Scan and Go app. that you'll have to use the app to ring up your own purchases, pay on your phone, and walk out the door. Now, there are people who hate this kind of thing. I hate lines. I mean, I think Scan and Go has been the most improved thing that's happened at any warehouse club. And BJ's Wholesale has a version like this as well, where I never have to worry about a line. I was in Sam's yesterday, and the lines were really long. I mean, we're in the Christmas season. And I just rang myself up, paid on the app, and walked right out the door.
Okay, Malkia in Georgia says, my home equity line of credit was locked because I missed one payment from my credit card, which I didn't realize I had missed. I have had perfect credit for 5 years and was about to do a major reconstruction on my home. How can I fix this? I am desperate.
Oh, I understand. And you were with a fairly large bank, but not with one of the 4 giant monster megas. Make an appointment with the branch manager or the chief loan officer at your branch of this bank and see if they can help you get this home equity line of credit unlocked that is now locked. That shows how a single late pay on your credit report can have so many ramifications beyond that one credit card. I see here that credit card was not even with the same financial institution that you have your Heloc. And if they will not yield on this, if they will not allow you to use this home equity line of credit, go into a local credit union near where you live and tell them what happened and see if you can establish a replacement HELOC with that credit, join that credit union and set up a replacement HELOC to replace the one that you no longer are able to use that was going to be used for the renovations at your home. I'm really, really sorry this happened. All right, so now I'm going to say something that was a big change in my philosophy that I changed about 2 years ago, and that is because a single forgotten payment, not where you don't have the money, but where you just overlooked it and forgot to make a payment on a credit card or something like that, to set up at least paying the minimum payment due automatically with your cards every month. Very easy to do at the website of your credit card, and that way life happens, things slip through the cracks, and you will eliminate the possibility of a missed payment really causing you big hassles, usually for somewhere about 18 months is about where that could really harm you.
So Malkia's credit card with a giant monster mega bank, that GMMB does not allow you to do that. I know this because my father has a card with them, and I set up all of his credit cards to do that. They don't allow it. So you'd have to set up an automatic payment from your bank for some amount that would be
Wait a minute.
The minimum. They don't.
They don't allow an automatic payment?
No. It is so crazy. Especially, they don't allow it. Even though he has bank accounts with them. He has his savings, everything, and then he's got this credit card. And I tried and I called. I couldn't believe it.
So it's funny because the CEO of this bank just had to face Wall Street. And this bank has frightfully underperformed for years and years and years. And he got grilled about, why are you doing so much worse than the other big banks? And he just got pounded again and again and again. And I think it's because of things like this, where you're just tone deaf to the marketplace. People who follow the financial industry well will know what bank this was we're talking about. But that's kind of dumb. I don't get it. I don't know anybody else who doesn't let you set up an automatic payment.
Nor do I. It's so strange. I know.
Vote with your feet. That's what your dad should do.
Well, I am moving him. Yeah, we're moving him to Schwab.
Okay.
He's going to bank there.
All right. So speaking of parents and kids and stuff like that, there's a suggestion I've seen twice recently that I'm like, wow, that's really smart. I want to talk about that's a simple precaution people should take in families. So it's Thanksgiving week. A lot of us get to be with our families. For some of us, that's the greatest thing. For others, maybe more a mixed thing. Let's hope for you, it's a great thing to have the time with family. And there's something that I saw in a tech blog months ago. Thought, great idea. I'm going to talk about that. Forgot till I saw the same suggestion in an article in the Wall Street Journal. And that is, as I've discussed in the past, it is so creepy how easy it is for AI to take just a few words of any of our voices and dupe them to make anybody think they're talking to you on the phone. I mean, crazy stuff where somebody can totally have the identical voice playing into your phone, calling you and saying, hey, Mom, it's whatever. I got a problem. I need your help. I'm broken down by the side of the road. I don't have any money. I got to get the car towed and fixed. Or whatever the tall tale is that a grandchild supposedly will be calling a grandparent or any relative doing that. Because now, what used to be known as the grandparent scam was somebody pretending in their voice to be the voice of your grandkid. Now it is an exact pattern duplicate. It is the same voice you're hearing from the con artist that is that of your relative. Much more likely to be really worried that your grandkid's in jail or in trouble in some way or being held for ransom or whatever tall tale is told. Well, there's a simple, low-tech thing that you should consider doing this Thanksgiving week with your family. And that is having a family code word. It should be something that is not obvious to anyone outside the family. It could be a longtime beloved family dog's name or a cute nickname somebody in the family has had. Whatever it is, and everybody in the family, if there's ever any kind of weird phone call you get, an urgent phone call, you say, what's the word? And that's what the crook isn't going to know. They're not going to know the family secret code word. And it is such a, I mean, could you have a more low-tech way to ferret out when there's a scamster pretending there's an urgent crisis involving a family member than to just say to the scamster, what's the word? And they're like, what? What? And the code word can be the same word for years and years and years and years. So it's easy to remember. So you can defeat tech with a really low-tech kind of thing. And by the way, you ever got a call you think is real about distress with a family member? Say, okay, I got to go. And then you call them right back at the number you know that is their number. And they're like, there's nothing wrong. I'm right here. I'm watching TV or whatever. So often, it's just completely a con that's designed to strike at your fear, your love, and your wallet.
All right. Chris in Connecticut says, we are holding firm to not co-signing on any loan for one of my sons that's trying to pull himself up financially. Should the same hold true for co-signing a lease? Does that hold the same risk, or is that an okay option when and if needed? And I assume this is a lease on a place to live.
Or it could be a car.
Could be a car, but
Yeah.
I think it's...
Any kind of lease. So co-signing on a lease is the same risk. You have all the responsibility, none of the benefit of whatever. So you have to know that you are fully on hook. And if your son doesn't pay the payment on the lease, your credit is impacted in a really ugly way. So if you do decide to co-sign on a lease, you want to make sure you're signed up for automatic notices of when payments are due or if a payment has not been made on time. You know how you got reminders? Because somebody you're signing a lease with for a vehicle or an apartment or whatever, they want to get their money, right? And so they're usually happy to set up online reminders. Ignorance is not bliss in this case. If you do decide to co-sign a lease, you need to know, maybe just having online access, and you check once a month at the date that the payment's due, if it's a car lease, or first of the month for apartment lease, that you check to make sure that payment has been made. And no matter how angry you might be with your son for not making the payment, you make it, because you've got to get that payment done, or else the consequences for you are really, really bad.
And if it's lease on a car, maybe try to convince him not to lease a car, get a beater car. Jeff in North Carolina says, Clark, I want to get my 16-year-old a credit card as an authorized user on my account that will help establish a credit history for her. But when I did this for an older sibling, I was surprised to later find out that the credit card company wasn't reporting the utilization and payment history for the authorized user card. Is there any way to know if a card will or will not be reporting it, other than checking credit reports a couple of months in? Does the company taking the second user's social security number mean they definitely will report? The card's customer service people don't seem to know the answer.
And they don't know the answer, but I'll tell you how it plays. So you can add an authorized user with a number of issuers without giving their social security number. But if you don't give the social security number, that's an automatic tip-off that it's not going to be reported on their credit report. If you do supply the social security number, though, that's not 100% that it will be reported, but usually it will be, and that will establish the credit history you're trying to establish. So your question is the answer. You want to make sure you have to supply the social security number. And second, you want to monitor their credit report, or they need to monitor their credit report to make sure that it is showing up as intended on their credit report.
John in Oklahoma says, I recently watched your YouTube show where you talked about Aldi and Trader Joe's. This is a story, by the way, and I thought it was pretty good. Krista mentioned Trader Joe's donates their expired food to local food banks. Aldi doesn't do that. When their unsold product expires, they just throw it out. Unlike other stores, at least in the Tulsa area, Aldi just has dumpsters. For me, that's a great thing because they toss lots of great product. If you get the timing down, it's easy to get plenty of freebies right after they're tossed. I'm not talking about eating trash. This is good, nutritious food, clean and wrapped, sitting at the top of the dumpster. I tend to avoid doing this during the summer months because I'm not wanting to deal with spoiled food. But I get some really good stuff during the fall and winter. I refer to this time of year as meat weather. It may not be for the squeamish, but we've gotten hundreds of pounds of dry foods, baked goods, produce, beef, and chicken.
Oh, man, that's a great story. So
you're more Clarky than Clark.
Yeah, John.
Also known as dumpster diving to some.
So, John, that is an unusual thing at an Aldi, because Aldi, is its corporate policy, I think in every country in the world they're in, is to try to get to zero waste. And they work with a national food bank organization in the United States, And then where they're not, in theory, they work with local food banks. I have no idea what's going on in the Tulsa metro area, that the stuff's just going in the dumpster because it's not their normal thing. In fact, I remember reading on the Aldi Insider, which is not run by Aldi. It's a blog that follows what's going on at Aldi and also Trader Joe's. And they had mentioned that Aldi was trying to get to a zero waste in the United States, and what couldn't go to food banks go to composting. I don't really understand how all that works, but anyway, go to zero waste. But if you're able to eat food that's still safe to eat and eat for free, that's a deal.
Sure.
So, not your kind of thing. I still remember when I had to dumpster dive for the code, the barcode on a box that my wife had thrown away that I needed for a rebate, and how many listeners and viewers were just outraged at me for doing that.
I think most people thought it was classic Clark. Pretty funny.
But I've not gotten food out of a dumpster.
No?
That's not something I've done.
Okay. There's a first time for everything.
Well, John, I'll go scout at my Aldi and see if they're throwing food out in their dumpster.
I mean, if it's a canned good or whatever, the meat is where I have to draw the line, personally.
Well, because you're virtually a vegetable-tarian.
Even so. Okay. The can, or dry goods, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, and I will check and report if I do find a lot of food dumped in the dumpster of mine.
They're like, why is Clark Howard out there at our dumpster?
Then we'll have to shoot a video of me eating something I took out of the dumpster.
Yeah, maybe. No.
Maybe not?
Probably not. Maybe just no. Okay. I'm just going to end it with that.
All right. Well, how's that for a kickoff to Thanksgiving week? So, again, we are going to be with you on Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, with a podcast. We haven't done this ever on Thanksgiving week.
Oh my gosh, I'm never going to hear the end of this.
That's okay. That's all right. Anyway.
Think of how many more days a year you're getting off, though, not doing podcasts on Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore.
That's true. This is the first year I've not done 5 podcasts a week. So
yeah.
You're right. You're right. I should stop being a spoiled brat.
No, I did not ever use those words.
No, but that was the implication. Anyway, so know that this being Black Friday week, in the midst of Black Friday month, we are on the job for you at clarkdeals.com with the latest, greatest. We do all kinds of extra posts around the clock, all Black Friday week, to help you stretch every dollar on your Christmas shopping. And there's the Clark Deals newsletter, comes out free every day as well. And so I want you to be able to get the best deals on the things you're buying for yourself or for others this Christmas holiday season.
And Hanukkah. Hello.
Yeah, well, Hanukkah, I mean, people don't get a lot of stuff for Hanukkah.
Some do.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. For your Hanukkah shopping as well. Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, better. All right. So just know everything we're about is you learning ways to save more, spend less, and avoid getting ripped off. And only on April Fool's Day is it the opposite. Save less, spend more, and make sure you get ripped off. But that's not today.